Начинается сборная команда Швейцарии. Предыдущий. Арбитры Международной федерации хоккея. Главные судьи Алексей Рандова. Линейные судьи The referee game, Alexei Randova. Linesman, all slap by international supervisor. Стартовые составы играющих команд. Команда Швейцарии Предыдущий. В воротах играл номер 20, номер 20, защитники All Defense, номер 77, номер 77, номер 32, номер 32, Ноа Штайнбергер. Нападающий Forwards, номер 56, номер 36, Дио Визе, номер 95, номер 94, Юра Фоке, и номер 65, номер 65, Лав Визе. Стартовый состав сборной команды России. Капитан Патрика Фишера. Вратарь играли, номер 72, номер 72, Сергей Бобровский. Защитники номер 26, номер 26, Вячеслав Воинов. Номер 74, номер 74, Алексей Левин. Нападающие Forwards. Номер 96, номер 96, Алексей.
Welcome to Moscow as Russia gets back into action, getting set to take on Switzerland. Sergei Bobrovsky, Reto Berra are your goaltenders. The change, the story of this game is the new people that are in the Russian lineup.
Well, it's not just anybody that Russia's brought to this team. Alexander Ovechkin back here for another World Championship, his 12th with teammates Dmitry Orlov and Evgeny Kuznetsov. So a couple more firepower. Kuznetsov and Ovechkin will make up 2/3 of another line as Burmistrov takes the right side.
They arrived yesterday, and there was never a question that they were going to be in the lineup today. And we are underway. It's cleared into the Russian end of the ice. As Switzerland starts a very difficult part of its schedule. Burmistrov through center ice tried to shuttle this through, and offside called against Russia.
Heavy Russian crowd here, obviously being in Moscow at the Ice Palace. They are the home team, and Oleg Znarka, his task is how to manage all that firepower on his team, and Patrick Fishera, the first time head coach at this World Championship for the Swiss team, has finally found their first win in regulation as Eric Blum, the defenseman, has been the hero in the last 2 games.
An overtime winner and a late third period winner for Blum. Reto Berra plays this to the line, kept in by Zaitsev. After it, Mozyakin played it to the front of the net. Patrick Gearing trying to send that away from Sonikov. In from the line, Alexei Marchenko. Sonikov got dumped in the corner, and Patrick Gearing is on it, plays it out to center ice. After it goes Mosier. Mosier trying to cut around Zaitsev, could not. After it, Nino Niederreiter for Mosier, got away from him, kept in at the line. Slap shot by Niederreiter wide. Zaitsev. Signed by the Toronto Maple Leafs, clears it out at center. Panarin back out there now with Sapachov and Dodonov. The top 3 scorers in this tournament.
They have been electric the last 2 games.
In across for Dodonov, save made Reto Berra. Panarin back at the line, anti-pin the shot. And this caroms off a stick and up into the netting.
Look at Panarin, 9 points in the last 2 games alone for Panarin, along with Sapachov and Dodonov. They have been very dangerous, the 3 of them combined together, and a lot of speed. And Reto Berra, the goaltender for Switzerland, is going to need to be good.
Out of the Russian lineup today because of injury, Sergei Plotnikov and Maxim Chudinov. And a big loss for Switzerland, Rafael Diaz is not in the lineup, either is Lino Marchini, but they'll really miss Rafael Diaz.
Well, Diaz played the biggest minutes for their team, was leading them with 6 assists on the back end.
leads all defensemen in scoring with 6 points, all assists. Walzer for Ambul, Anders Ambul out of the corner, watched by Kalinin. Down goes Kalinin. Referees are Antonin Jarobek of the Czech Republic and Alexei Rantala of Finland. And the linesmen are Fraser McIntyre of the United States and Peter Sevchuk of Slovakia. Centering pass doesn't work. A shot from that right side by Lubomov does, and Reto Berra makes the save. And back for Dennis Holenstein. And that shot is off the stick and out of play. And now Holenstein and Zaitsev get a little rambunctious. And there's Alex Ovechkin.
Another 50-goal season for him. Disappointment in the playoffs, but continues his 7th 50-plus goal season for Alexander Ovechkin. 6 times now he's won the Rock of Richard, most goals, 3-time Hart. It goes on, and he is loved here in Russia.
Joined Alex Mogilny and Pavel Bure a few years back with Russian players to score 60. Shot by Grossman is stopped by Bobrovsky, and Ovechkin is on the loose puck. Out with Burmistrov and Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov, who had a very good regular season for Washington. Big hit as Julian Walker got buried by Alex Ovechkin. But Kuznetsov did not have a good playoffs for the Caps.
Alexander Ovechkin, talk about how dangerous he is offensively, also physically.
Burmistrov drops it for Kuznetsov. That shot never got to the net. And Kuznetsov will send it back in a line change now for Russia as Boyanov has it. Alexei Yemelin. Lead pass. Sonikov tried to work it around Patrick Gearing, could not. And Switzerland will control. Gearing back in behind his own net. Right side for Dubois. Dubois the long shot in on Bobrovsky. And he'll leave it for Yemelin, who takes the bump from Trochler. Cross ice pass. Mosier the shot. And Bobrovsky makes a good save. And hangs on it.
You know, Niederreiter parked right in front. He's been the leader offensively in this tournament for Switzerland. 3 goals, 2 assists. And Alexander Ovechkin introducing himself to Julian Walker is a good hit, a big hit by Ovechkin getting in on the forecheck. Julian Walker, not a small guy at 6'2", 210 pounds, but Ovechkin loves that aspect of the game as much as he loves scoring goals.
Switzerland clinging on to that 4th spot in Group A, but with a victory today could actually jump ahead of Russia. It's a big task, but that's what's at stake. And this one goes off Dmitry Orlov, and Bobrovsky has to jump on it.
Well, Hoffman just trying to center this puck, almost gets the type of bounce you're looking for as Orlov defending goes off his skate. Good reaction as Bobrovsky's got the glove there in time. Andrighetto was trying to search out that loose puck as it was coming to the front of the net.
Zaitsev sends it around the boards. It gets blocked, centered out front. And that caroms to the near side boards, and it's cleared back to the Swiss line. Zaitsev plays it behind his own net. Turned over at the line, and recovering quickly was Dmitry Orlov. In across for Sapachov, the shot right off. Dodonov trying to find it. Panarin trying to find it. And it's cleared. Panarin jumps on the loose puck. Dodonov for Sapachov, trying to get away from Eric Blum. Drops it off at the line for Orlov, and this gets deflected out front. And Reto Berra is going to jump on it.
Sapachov with the shot, and this is where Switzerland's going to have to play well, is defensively. Make sure they collapse down as Sapachov just comes in. He's going to let the shot, all the Swiss players are going to collapse in front of Reto Berra. They'll need him to make those first saves and then help out with the rebound as he gets just enough glove on that puck.
past year, Shane, we've seen the Russian team get a little frustrated if you simply stick to a defensive structure.
Well, and that'll be the game plan for Switzerland, is to make sure they're solid in their own end. How about, it's all right if Russia has the puck, just keep it to the outside.
Marchenko's pass up the boards, picked up by Julian Walzer, and then his pass picked up by Lubomov. Ivan Telegan in alone, saved by Berra, rebound, score! Ivan Telegan. And Reto Berra is not happy, Patrick Fisher is not happy.
It comes off a turnover. We're just talking, Switzerland has to play a solid game, manage the puck, and Samuel Walzer's going to turn it over. Great play by Lubomov, and he finds Telegan, who goes in on the rush. Berra's going to say there's goalie interference on this play. The backhand, and as Telegan's falling, he actually gets his stick on this puck. He stayed with it. And Swiss coach Patrick Fisher looking for an explanation, as well as Reto Berra. But it is going to count. There's now conversation over at Switzerland's bench. So Ivan Telegan is first of this tournament. We look at all the firepower that you'd expect, and it's Telegan that's able to score first for Russia.
1-0. Russia tries to leapfrog Sweden in the standings in Group A. And 21 goals now for Russia. That ties the Czech Republic in the A group for most goals for.
And they were shut out in their first game against the Czech Republic, so those have all come in the last 4.
So Switzerland down 1 off a skate. That one off of Alexei Yemelin, and there's that same net that has really caused some problems in this championship.
It really has. That's a great defensive play by Lubomov, and then finding Telegan. He stays with it. He tries to stop before he hits Berra. And as he is, gets knocked in a bit by Yannick Weber, but a good job following that puck and using his stick to push it across the line.
So we talk about goals for Russia. The other impressive stat is their goals against. They have given up 8. Czech Republic has given up 6. But if you go back to the start of the second period of Game 2 against Kazakhstan, since then, Russia has given up 2 goals in 8 periods of play. Wozniacki trying to deflect that out. And Wozniacki now on it for Russia. In for Sonikov. He got dumped on the play, and Lucien Dubois is going to get a penalty. Sonikov went down rather easily. So it'll be a power play for Russia when we come back.
Shortly after Ivan Telegan has Russia up 1-0, Felicien Dubois of Switzerland takes a penalty as he takes down Sonikov. So Russia brings the tournament's #1 power play at 40%, 8 for 20 so far in the tournament, against the tournament's worst penalty kill in Switzerland, which has only killed 7 of 14, 50% on the PK.
That's going to be the challenge for Switzerland. They can't skate with Russia. They can't control the puck the way Russia can, and yet they have to try and stay out of the penalty box. Boyanov for Mozyakin. Plays it down for Artemi Panarin. Back for Mozyakin, back for Panarin, and back for Mozyakin. Cross ice Sapachov, and a good read by Red O'Bara.
They have caught a bit of that post as Sapachov tried to rip that one-timer home.
2 power play goals for Mozyakin in this tournament. Dodonov plays it for Panarin. Sapachov, 10 points in this championship tournament. Leads the tournament, followed by Panarin with 9, followed by Dodonov with 8.
That was a real good defensive play by Patrick Gearing of Switzerland.
Lead pass, Kuznetsov has this get away from him. Kuznetsov ends up back at the line. Belov for Ovechkin, and Red O'Bara, another good read. Ovechkin for Lubimov. Power play for Russia. Back for Ovechkin. Ovechkin down for Kuznetsov. He tried to get it for Lubimov. He'll send it back for Belov. He'll tee it up. Save made Bera. And Red O'Bara will hang on to it.
Anton Belov had a 4-point game, and he can rip the puck from the point. So a couple of good options on this setup. You got Belov on the one side, Ovechkin on the other. There's a play to Sapachov earlier. They open up that cross-seam pass. He has a hot look at his 10 points in this tournament.
Russia has never lost to Switzerland in World Championship action, 6-0. Reto Shapi out for Switzerland to face off against the veteran Pavel Datsyuk, and there's a chip in the ice. So we're going to have a bit of a delay.
This is only in game 2. What the ice will look like, the ice conditions as they get to the 3rd game today, which will be Kazakhstan and Latvia. So look at the goal scorer for Russia. Ivan Telegin. It was off a turnover. Samuel Walser of Switzerland turns it over. Lubinov, great headman pass. And Telegin comes the length of the ice, able to get that one past Red O'Bara. This goal for Russia. Has them up 1-0.
Still lots of conversation amongst Russian media about some of the players that are not here for Russia and why they're not here. We'll touch on that in a second. Belov for Kuznetsov. His down low pass got picked off. After it, Pavel Datsyuk. Back for Belov, in for Ovechkin. Lubimov picks up the loose puck. Datsyuk down for Kuznetsov. And the power play about to end. So the top power play unable to capitalize against a penalty-killing team that has struggled in that department.
Sometimes it's just about confidence, and that may help Switzerland going forward and being able to kill that first power play of Russia.
Yakupov, Radulov, Tikhonov, Varlamov, some of the names that
Kovalchuk
were expected to be here. Ilya Kovalchuk. Now there's another penalty coming to Switzerland. Shot to the short side, stopped on it is Shirokov. Back for Zaitsev. For Kalinin. And this gets deflected away, and it's going to be a tripping call.
And he just got out of the box. Felicien Dubois, not even out for a full shift. I don't think he even had a chance to make his way to the bench. He's going for the change, and he trips up Ivan Telegin as he pitches up in the neutral zone. Switzerland not making it easy on themselves. Dubois right back. One of the veterans on a very young Swiss team. This is his 6th World Championship. Patrick Fisher hoping his team can stay out of the penalty box. Now they're going to fix the net.
The camera that needs to be readjusted or reconnected. Varlamov apparently is injured. Semyon Varlamov. The others It depends on which Russia media you talk to. Some say that they are injured, and some say that coach Oleg Znarka simply did not want them part of this group.
Well, the other game going on right now, Hungary is up 2-0 on Belarus.
Belarus simply does not start games the way they need to.
Head coach Dave Lewis probably not exactly happy with the way Belarus started that game. I can imagine the Hungary fans over there, they'll be celebrating like Russian fans in this building. They finally got things under control.
Russia has Norway on Monday, Sweden on Tuesday. Second spot in Group A may very well come down to that game on Tuesday. Wozniakin for Sapachov. Tried to get that to Slava Voinov and comes outside the line. And they'll have to regroup. Sapachov and Voinov come into this game with 14 shots on goal apiece to lead Russia in that category, followed by Lubomov and Belov with 13 each. Wozniakin for Sapachov, now for Panarin. Back for Panarin from Sapachov. Quickly on him is Yannick Weber. And Julian Walker's going to get tripped. And there's a penalty coming to the veteran Wozniakin.
All starts because of a great read by Yannick Weber and a good force shorthanded as he forces Panarin, able to chip the puck up the wall, and then Wozniakin's going to trip up Walker as he's trying to get by him. Little interference, little trip, and that ends the power play for Russia. So 4-on-4 for a minute 17 is Oleg Znarka. Explanation for Dodonov.
Love feeds it cross ice. So Switzerland, its first power play opportunity. Schneeberger lets the shot go. Bobrovsky kicked that away. And here comes Alex Ovechkin shorthanded. Or 4-on-4 rather. Ovechkin high short side. Save made by Red O'Bara. Ambule feeds Nino Niederreiter. And his shot goes off of Belov and into the netting. And then not sure what Nino Niederreiter did, but he certainly got Kuznetsov and Belov all fired up.
It started with Orlov. He came down on a little shove, and Niederreiter, right from his opening shift, has kind of been in the face of the Russians here. So maybe trying to lead his team that we're not going to back down. Be right there to the end as Niederreiter tried a shot that was deflected out of play.
Canadian Jeff Platt has scored for Belarus, and they are on the board. Lots of players from different countries have taken citizenship of where they play a lot of hockey now. Cleared down the ice after it to Lagan, but this is going to be called icing. 36 seconds left in the minor penalty to Dubois, and then we'll have a power play for Switzerland.
Well, Lagan just trying a little play there, chip it by. With his second year with CSKA Moscow. Originally an Atlanta Thrasher drafted the 4th round back in 2010.
Takes off to the left of Bobrovsky. Came out of the game in the one-sided win over Denmark. Bobrovsky did in the 3rd period. Took a shot up in the mask. Wasn't injured. The mask needed some repair. So he left, and they just never bothered bringing him back in.
Well, no sense at that point in the game as Oleg Znarka might as well rest his #1 goalie or just take away risk of energy. injury or anything that may happen, is he's going to need him here as the games get really important, especially that last one against Sweden.
Face-off win by Sapachov. Sapachov coming into the game had taken 65 face-offs, had won 38 of them. Here comes Panarin. Panarin, wrist shot, and Reto Berra, who is going to have to be at the top of his game today, makes a good save.
Well, Panarin just builds up speed, a little cross and drop back in their own end. Sapachov to Panarin, gets a step to the outside, looking for that short side. Puck looked like it was going wide, but good job as Berra's out, cut the angle. Cami Panarin sits second to his line mate Sapachov as he has 9 points. All those 9 in the last 2 games.
The 10-1 win over Denmark certainly padded the offensive stats. They had 3 power play goals in that game.
And the 4-0 win over Latvia, he had 2 goals and 2 assists in on all 4 goals.
That's Russia's list to this point. Lost 3-0 to the Czech Republic, the tail of the tape. Beat Kazakhstan 6-4, beat Latvia 4-0, beat Denmark 10-1. Power play now for Switzerland for 26 seconds. Yannick Weber for Dubois. He ripped the shot off a stick high. And Rigetto had it in the corner. It got away from him. And here comes Lubomov. Watched there by Dubois. Plays it to the short side. Reto Berra had to be careful with that one. And Rigetto deflected in by Mosier. Power play is over. Zaitsev sends it on looking for Lubomov. And he ran into Walzer. Mosier back for Schneeberger. Near side, Ambio, the one-timer off a stick of Zaitsev and wide.
Good play by Zaitsev as he readjusts there, recognizes that pass coming through the seam.
Sonikov to the far side. He'll chase this down. Eric Blum is after him. And Schneeberger comes up with it. His pass goes off the skate of Pavel Datsyuk, and Datsyuk quickly sends it back in for Mosyakin, and he'll send it in. After it's Sonikov. Sonikov trying to work it free, being hounded there by Blum. Schneeberger sends it around the ice, looking for Wieser. But Sonikov has it again for Mosyakin, for Datsyuk. At the line for Belov, they say it came out. And as Datsyuk touches it, they're going to call this intentional. I don't think Datsyuk ever saw the linesman throw his hand up, but it will come all the way back on the offside. 1-0 Russia.
Shots 11-5 in favor of Russia at this point. Russia's been able to get one past Reto Berra up the stick of Ivan Telegin. Had a couple power plays, but Switzerland's done a good job. They killed one. The other one, Russia took a power play or a penalty. So and then a short power play for Switzerland.
Interesting line for Russia. 37-year-old Pavel Datsyuk, 35-year-old Mosyakin, and 25-year-old Sonikov.
Well, Sonikov's the guy, if they're dumping it in, he's the one chasing it.
Taken wide by Dmitry Orlov. Drops it back. Ovechkin back for Orlov, up for Kuznetsov. To the front of the net looking for Burmistrov, and Mosier breaks it up. Dubois back for Mosier, and he'll send it in. And Bobrovsky quickly sends it ahead for Burmistrov. He'll quickly send it ahead for Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov wide on Gearing, back to Burmistrov. and Burmistrov wasn't quite ready for it. Shot from the line by Boyanov, and that got stopped. Burmistrov gets to that immediately. He has nothing but room on that short side.
Oh, great plays. Kuznetsov trying to throw it out the same side. He goes behind the net on. And maybe surprised Burmistrov. We'll switch it up in the line of Panarin. The Don offense, the match off will go right. There's a look at Eric Blum. Scored the overtime winner against Denmark, and then late in the game against Latvia, scores the game-winning goal.
Chipped ahead for Julian Walker, and then he'll take it all the way back into his own zone and regroup. There's Eric Blum. Lead pass deflected in by Beezer. Controlled down low to the front of the net. Bobrovsky kicked it away. Scramble in front of the net. Julian Walker trying to come up with it. Walker out there with the Beezers. Dino Beezer, number 56, is 26. In for Panarin, and Reto Berra robs Artemi Panarin.
Exactly what they're going to need. Such quick transition. What a pass. The patch off to Panarin. And Reto Berra stretching out all the way to his left with a great left pad save. And he keeps it just a 1-0 game as and an example of how quickly Russia can turn that puck around.
Just to finish off with the Beezers, Dino Beezer is 26. Mark Beezer is the older of the two brothers at 28. And they're out there on a line with Julian Walker. This is going to be called for a glove pass.
Talk about all the stars that Russia has, and this is an example. Artemi Panarin coming off a fantastic rookie year with the Chicago Blackhawks. He has a chance to score. He's able to score 30 this year with the Blackhawks, 77 points. Used to getting those passes. It's just a number 88 on the other side.
Yes.
Instead of 87, I guess just one number difference.
Sent up the boards. Christian Marty in with a good hit on Lubomov. Here comes Kalinin. In for Lubomov. Lubomov fires from the right side. That got blocked. After the loose puck is Zaitsev, and he rolls it through the crease. Christian Marty gets banged to the backboards. Weber plays it out at center again. No Rafael Diaz for Switzerland. Anton Belov for Mozyak, and he'll play it back for Orlov. And Orlov will send it out at center for Mozyakin. He tried to get it to Datsuk. It got tipped away and back in for Andrighetto. Sven Andrighetto dumps it in. Shappy is after it. Near side, Hoffman forces a turnover, and the long shot by Blum just missed that far corner. Shappy gets stripped of the puck by Pavel Datsuk. Up through center ice for Sonikov. He ran out of the room. Hoffman. Back for Dubois. Watched by Sonikov. Wrong shot in on Bobrovsky. And Orlov starts up. Kuznetsov didn't like what he was seeing. Circles back. Burmistrov is after it. Has Ovechkin with him. Burmistrov drops near side. Ovechkin trying to bring it to the front of the net. Does! And that quick release, and Reto Berra makes the save. Patrick Geary will send this in, and that goes up and out of play.
Switzerland's done a nice job in that neutral zone. They forced Russia back. They'll curl back. They're not going to dump the puck. They like to gain speed, and as long as they can take away those rushes and force them back, it'll play in the Swiss advantage. Line back on. Ovechkin had that shot. Reto Berra has come up with the saves they've needed.
Ovechkin gold medals in 2008, 2012, and 2014 for Russia. #1 pick overall in 2004. 11 seasons in Washington, 7 with the C on his jersey. Panarin gets pinned to the boards, and Sapachov will send it up. Panarin drops for Dodonov. His shot, and Red O'Bara got enough of that. Marchenko plays it back for Panarin. Panarin gets bumped, pinned to the backboards long enough that Julian Walker could come in and get the puck, but then Julian Walker is checked by Dodonov. For Panarin. Schneeberger. And now a hit on Julian Walker, and Sapachov is going to get a penalty. And in front of the net, Panarin got dumped. And Mark Vieser came over and kind of gave Panarin a little tap on the pads. It was more of a collision than anything else. And Sapachov, this was a bit of a high hit.
It was a high hit as he catches Walker looking the other way. And it is interference as the puck is against the wall. Good job by Switzerland. They're playing tough defense, get along those walls, win the battles. And Sapachov, clearly interference, maybe a check to the head as Walker goes down and Switzerland gets a late power play.
Depending which angle you looked at, it looked like it may have been shoulder first, but some of those angles looked like the initial contact was with the head. But
Switzerland had a brief power play in this game at the end. Are they pulling Bobrovsky? Sorokin is getting his gear on the Russian bench. So is this another example? Bobrovsky go towards the bench at this last break? Yeah, I think this is what happened again, and they're going to explain this. This happened before in this tournament, and I believe it happened to the guy across from him, Red O'Bara. If during one of the whistles you go to the bench, you go across the blue line, you then have to leave the crease to go to the bench. So Ilya Sorokin, there's Bobrovsky, he goes to the bench at the break, changed with water bottles, and because he did that, he now has to go to the bench. So for a shift, Sorokin's gonna come in.
So I guess you don't have to go across the blue line, no, you just go to the bench.
You're not allowed to go to the bench. So it's different for the guys that play in the NHL.
So Bobrovsky goes to the
during a power play.
Bench. Sorokin comes on, and that's kind of what happened to Red O'Bara. It was during a power play. Dubois, that shot got blocked. Telegan trying to clear it down the ice, and does. Could have done some old-time hockey there and changed goalies on the fly.
Well, Russia needs a whistle here to get Bobrovsky back in as he's just standing waiting.
Yannick Weber plays it for Dubois. Tries to play some give and go with Mosier. Puck is bouncing around, and it does get cleared out at center ice. Knocked away from Niederreiter by Moisjakin. And now Weber will carry in. Cross ice for Niederreiter from Andrighetto, but that came back outside the line. Second power play of the game for Switzerland. First one was not a full 2 minutes, as it came during a Russian power play. Remistrov trying to stay with Ambuel. Ambuel dumps the puck off on that far side for Hoffman. Plays give and go with Walzer. Now for Blum, in for Hoffman, lost it to Remistrov. And Remistrov will send it down the ice.
Well, I should thank Red O'Bara because we couldn't explain the rule the first time, but now we know why.
To the line, stopped there. Lyubimov tried to clear, could not. Telegan trying to tie up Ambuel. After it is Antipin. No Chudinov or Plotnikov for Russia today because of injury, and no Rafael Diaz for Switzerland. Eric Blum, the shot, save made by Sorokin. Scramble, Sorokin down, and it's cleared.
Job by Belloff, that loose puck able to get it out of the zone.
And the power play is over. And Sergei Bobrovsky anxiously awaits his return. Fieser with the shot. That got blocked up into the netting. And now the bench door will open.
Ilya Sorokin getting a little more action. He comes up with a couple of big saves. 2 saves, his great chance in front on the rebound for Walser. And eventually Beloff clears that puck out of harm's way, but Sorokin does his job. He came in the last game against Denmark in the 3rd period to finish it off. He played the last 13-20 of that game and now takes a shift here, a good shift, as Russia was shorthanded, but Bobrovsky back in the net.
Sorokin, just 20 years of age. Yemelin and Traxler to the far side as we are into the final 25 seconds of period number 1. In on the attack, Dodonov, he tried the wraparound, and Reto Berra has been good.
Just so much speed from Dodonov as he gets past Dubois, gets inside position, then just a quick attack on the wraparound. A little further, he might have had room to the 5-hole. Dodonov spent his 4th year with SKA St. Petersburg in the KHL. 59 games, 23 goals, 23 assists, 46 points. This is his 3rd World Championship.
Brief stint with the Florida Panthers for Dodonov. Always lots of talk around the Russian team, whether anyone else will follow Artemi Panarin. Panarin a bit of a different situation, only 24 years of age. Mozyakin stripped to the puck, and then he gets it back. Mozyakin trying to get into position for a shot. Orlov with a buzzer beater that went wide, and the 1st period comes to an end.
Russia able to strike first, but credit to Switzerland, they hang in there, and this is what they want to do, keep it close as long as they can.
Nothing Russia leading Switzerland. 1 period done, and Switzerland hanging in there.
They're doing a good job. They're only outshot 16-12. They had their chances. Reto Berra came up with some big saves, and they're going to need that from their netminders. Only one getting by Reto Berra. He claimed he was interfered with a bit. It was the Ivan Telegan goal, but it's the only one that's been scored here so far in this game.
Julian Walker starts with the 2 visors. And Burmistrov starts with Kuznetsov and Ovechkin. Here comes Burmistrov. Backhand shot save on the short side by Reto Berra.
That's the big area that Switzerland has to be aware of, the transition game for Russia. Very quick, one play, and they're in behind you. Burmistrov forces the backhand. Good job by Schneeberger, just keeps them out to the outside, forces them on the backhand. And Burmistrov just the 1 assist so far in the tournament.
Face off to the left of Reto Berra. 2.88 goals against average for Reto Berra. And a save percentage of .875. He'd like to see those numbers go up. And he will be a big part of what lies ahead here for Switzerland as they hit the toughest part of their schedule. Kuznetsov had it knocked off of his stick, and now another big hit by Alex Ovechkin. And we have a holding penalty coming up. as Ovechkin stepped into Nino Niederreiter.
I think it's Morris Trachtler of Switzerland that's going to take a penalty for holding the stick. He was wrapped up, I believe, with Kuznetsov or Vermeenstraff in front of the net, so Trachtler, much like they started that first period taking penalties, going to take an early one. Does indeed grab Vermeenstraff's stick, almost a bear hug as he's falling by, and Patra Fishera, head coach of Switzerland, his team to the penalty kill early in period 2.
Third power play for Russia. Shappy chases it to the far side. Voyanov stops it. In for Panarin. Up top for Mozyakin. Back for Panarin. He'll find Sapachov. Voyanov near side looking for Panarin. And it was tipped away from him. Mozyakin. Voyanov. In for Dodonov. And back. A shot by Mozyakin. That just missed. Panarin. Mozyakin, Voyanov, Mozyakin, Voyanov, Sapachov, looking for Dodonov. It's deflected away. Panarin is on it. Back for Mozyakin, back for Panarin. Quick feed across and a good stick there by Felicien Dubois.
Well, they really want to make those seam passes. Sapachov along with Panarin trying to look through the seam for one another, and real good defensive sticks on the penalty kill by Switzerland.
Voyanov for Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov winds it in. Finds Ovechkin. Back for Kuznetsov. Lyubimov heads to the front of the net. Belov will play it back for Orlov. Ovechkin tried to get that to the net quickly. And again, a good defensive play by Switzerland, and Julian Walker will sail that back in wide of Bobrovsky. Back to that issue in the opening period when Bobrovsky had to leave for a shift. It's rule number 215 in the IIHF rulebook. Basically, if a netminder leaves the net for any other reason other than a delayed penalty and goes near his bench, he has two options: either take a 2-minute penalty or leave for a shift.
What a defensive play by Simon Mosier as he took away a chance for Russia, and now a turnover by Ovechkin.
Mosier in with the wrist shot, Bobrovsky. And the power play is over. Telegan busting through again, and one-handed jam, and Red O'Bara makes the stop, and Russia was in a change. No one there for the rebound. Here comes Telegan again. Boys, he got it in high gear.
Certainly does. Speed, and he is having his best game of this tournament.
Maybe one of those players that, with the new players coming in, thought, am I one of the guys that's going to come out? Shoveled ahead by Trachtler. Stopped at the line by Antipin. And now Antipin and Nino Niederreiter. Niederreiter a +6. Leads Switzerland in the plus-minus category. Yannick Weber will go back for it. Bobrovsky plays it around. Belarus has tied Hungary 2-2. Hungary had a 2-0 lead at one time in that opening period. 3 goals and 2 assists for Nino Niederreiter. Sharp angle chance. Red O'Bara makes the save. The rebound kind of ricocheted to the front of the net for a brief moment. And an icing call now against Switzerland.
Ivan Telegan, just a great game as Nino Niederreiter just throwing this back. It's picked off by Ovechkin. He's going to send Telegan. He's going to split the D, try to one-hand that, and Red O'Bara with a diving poke check. And boy, that didn't miss by much. Telegan trying to lift it with one hand over the sprawled out Red O'Bara, but catches O'Bara's mask.
Datsuk wins the face-off. To the front of the net, trying to get a shot away was Voyanov. Datsuk in pursuit of Shappy. And here comes Wieser. Wide on Alexei Yemelin. Voinov trying to jam it up the boards, does. Sannikov is there. He got tied up, as in from the line was Grossman. And now Yemelin will control for Russia. First period goal by Ivan Telegin. The only goal in this period, or in this game. Walzer for Schneeberger. Slap pass deflected in by Ambul. And Russia right back out. And Lubimov's pass was too far for Telegin. Out there with Dmitry Kalinin. Grossman for Holenstein, and misses him with the pass. Icing will be the call against Switzerland.
Grossman just trying to find this behind everyone and go in to the forecheck. And Patrick Fisher here in the game plan for his team. And kind of a 2-3 situation, more defensive minded, but they're going to have to find a way to try and generate some offense. And sometimes that's just by being patient, playing solid defensively. We talked about, you know, Russia's going to have puck possession, but as long as it's on the outside.
Triple header Saturday here. We have an injured player as Kuznetsov gets shaken up in behind the play. Vermistrov in with Ovechkin. The pass was too far for Ovechkin. Centered! And a slap shot from Voinov.
Ovechkin centers this puck up, but it's Evgeny Kuznetsov slow to go to the bench, and Belov let the shot go, and it hits Kuznetsov in front of the left ankle. That's what sent him down to the ice. He was able to get up, make it to the bench. Here's the chance for Voinov. And Renaud Berra, actually not sure where that is. He's looking around, but he had it.
Off now on that line in place of Kuznetsov, who's getting some attention at the bench. Vermistrov trying to knock that free. It bounces out at center. Yemelin back for Vermistrov. Takes a bump on the play from Yannick Weber. Shirokov hustling back into his own zone. Julian Walker closing in on him. And Shirokov will just send it back into the Swiss zone. Yannick Weber sends it through. On it is Voinov. 1-0 Russia. Dennis Bayak, Shane Knighty, our producer Kevin Pratt here at the Ice Palace in Moscow. Cross ice feed. Shirokov to the front of the net. Vermistrov in with a bump, but the puck is grabbed off and carried back up the ice. Chipped in deep by Marty. Marchenko had his man tied up, and that allows Russia to send it back where Dubois will go after it with Dodonov after him. Tratchler follows up on the play. Drops it off for Mosier. Rebound! What a chance for Patrick Gearing. And by the time he got it settled down, he was in a little too deep. Zaitsev gets pressured and knocked down by Niederreiter. Dubois tees it up, and that hit a leg in front of the net. Sapachov jams it ahead. Dodonov in for Panarin. Panarin tracks it down. Plays it at the line for Anton Belov. Down for Dodonov, takes a bump, gets it to Datsuk. Datsuk. Nifty work around Patrick Gearing. Back for Orlov, back for Belov. First one's blocked, second one's blocked.
Switzerland's doing a real good job, and we talked about it in their own end. Everyone committing to that good defensive sticks.
Shot by Andrighetto, and he whistled that one over top the net. Blum, the long lead pass. Looking for Andrighetto as Russia was changing. Icing waved off, centered back, and that slap shot blocked by Ivan Telegin. Or rather by Kalinin. Played around the boards. And now a bit of a high stick on the far side, but play goes on as Telegin may have got clipped. Yemelin into the corner, along with Blum, and here comes Ovechkin. line change, so he'll play it all the way around the boards. It comes all the way back out at center. And Alexei Marchenko will play it back for Kuznetsov, who's back on.
That's a good sign for Russia, able to shake off that fell-off shot.
Here comes Kuznetsov, scores! What a goal by Kuznetsov!
Oh my goodness, I don't know how, but he knocks this out of the air and into the net, I believe.
They're gonna go upstairs and look, but this was in the net.
What a play by Kuznetsov. Well, I guess his leg's okay, as he's able to take that puck the length of the ice. He's gonna go up and he's gonna knock it in. Great hand-eye coordination for Evgeny Kuznetsov. There's a little move under the stick, gets the shot, but it's the rebound. And that's a good goal.
Sticks below the crossbar. The puck is in the net. 2-0 Russia on a terrific goal by Evgeny Kuznetsov.
Beautiful goal as he stays with it to knock it in. They're going to take a look at this, but it shouldn't take very long for the decision to come down and for the fans in this building to celebrate. As the ref signaled right away, blew the whistle. And that's the signal that he's going to the phone.
Referee Alexei Rantala of Finland.
Well, it was a great year for Evgeny Kuznetsov and the Washington Capitals. That's the great inside move he makes initially. And then he's able to finish it off as he goes around Christian Marty. And tough one for Reto Berra. He's looking for where that puck is and stays right with it. Protection of the puck, little inside move, and then as he's going around the back of the net, a little bunt as he knocks it in.
Don't quite understand what's taking so long.
Well, I talked about Kuznetsov's season. It was a tough playoffs, but he led Washington in points this year, 77 points, 20 goals for the 23-year-old. These fans are going to start celebrating now. Took us a little, it didn't take us that long to recognize it was a goal.
No. Actually, from our vantage point up here, we knew it was in right off the bat because we saw the back of the net bulge, and it's a goal.
Now they'll celebrate. 2-0 Russia.
Over in St. Petersburg.
Imagine it's very similar atmosphere.
It is.
Well, Hungary scored 4 goals all tournament, but what a play by Kuznetsov.
They've scored 5 in the entire tournament going into this game, so they have 9 now. Well, Evgeny Kuznetsov has this building alive. Dancing, they're singing, they're happy. 2-0. Off the skate of Panarin, and Reto Berra had been alert. Russia up by a couple.
Арена Лидия, продолжаем читать твои флаги. Липецк, Старая Русса, Новый Уренгой, Плесецк, Тюмень, Орел, Брянск, Уфа, Пермь, Тольятти, Екатеринбург, поселок Полазно, Пермский край, город Ливни, Орловская область, село Колотасы, Башкортостан и деревня Ботово, Московская область. Мира тебе и процветания! Давай, страна!
victory over Belarus, Hungary's last win. And again, there's still lots of time to be played over there. Hungary's last win at the World Championships, February 3rd, 1939. They beat Belgium 8-1, 77 years, 3 months, 11 days ago.
Wow.
17 straight losses for Hungary since that win.
There's a large contingent of Hungary fans, and they've celebrated every game. I can't imagine what it's like right now for them. Still lots of game left, though.
Orlov. And these fans sense something good with their team here at this 2016 World Championship. Walzer sends it back into the Russian zone. Belov is back for it. Anton Belov, former Everton Oiler, for anti-pin up the middle. And Pavel Datsuk takes a high stick from Christian Marty. And Russia will go back to the power play.
A little bit of a momentum shift off that Kuznetsov goal. Switzerland's had some chances, but Christian Marty heads to the penalty box. Just got to make sure he goes to the right side as he gets the stick up. There's an interference on Mosiakin that wasn't called. It was a high stick on Pavel Datsuk. Oh, the Fisher's looking for a dive on Mosiakin. A lot of hand signals in this tournament. That's probably the most popular one from coaches.
Yeah. There has been the odd referee that has given that one during the course of a game, but I don't think their supervisors, whether it be NHL or IIHF, would approve of that. Orlov plays it down low, centered up front. Lubomov was tied up and cleared down the ice. Fourth power play of the game for Russia. Orlov ahead for Pavel Datsuk. For Lubomov. Kept in at the line by Ovechkin. Down for Datsuk. Got away from him. Slapped up the boards. And it gets past Ovechkin as Dubois will send Russia back.
I don't know if there's anybody that can pass as good on the backhand as the forehand as Pavel Datsuk.
Here's a backhand pass by Panarin. For Sapachev, for Ovechkin. Cross ice for Voyanov. And down low for Dodonov. Sapachev. Back for Dodonov. For Ovechkin, save, rebound save. Kept in at the line. Ovechkin, the blast went wide. Voyanov. Down for Sapachev and in for Dodonov. He's taken to the corner boards. Kept in at the line, though, by Voyanov. Sapachev, Voyanov for Ovechkin, or rather Mosiakin for Panarin. Dodonov, Panarin, Sapachev, Dodonov, and he couldn't tip it in. Mosiakin bears down. Panarin in for Dodonov, and it got away from him. Kept in. Good play there by Voyanov to not touch it. It would have been called a glove pass. Voyanov, Mosiakin, and Van in the one-timer. Cleared down the ice by Ambuel.
Well, great puck movement, a very aggressive penalty kill from Switzerland as they forced Russia to move that puck around, and Radobera with some big saves.
More aggressive than we've seen from Switzerland.
You have to be careful because there's a team that can move it around quickly. It's Russia.
Telegan for Lubomov, intercepted Patrick Gearing, who had a great chance earlier in this period, couldn't bury it, was in a little too deep. Lubomov picks off that pass at center as Kratchler tried to force it through the middle. Niederreiter, too far for Gearing, but picked up and sent in by Mosier. Kratchler trying to chop it back for Niederreiter. Niederreiter ran into Alexei Yemelin. Cross for Dmitry Kalinin. Kalinin trying to feed Burmistrov. And now up for Nino Niederreiter. Long shot, fired it wide. Julian Walker stripped of the puck, and Zaitsev plays it for Marchenko. Marchenko, his pass for Ovechkin was stopped by Yannick Weber. And Marchenko will go back. Plays it for Zaitsev, lead pass Ovechkin. In a little deep, finds Kuznetsov, no, a little too far. Andrew Ghetto on the back check.
Real good back check by Andrew Ghetto.
Hoffman had his stick lifted, gets it again, and a couple of whacks at it before Bobrovsky can freeze it. The last couple of years. Cleared cross ice, and Yemelin will play it in. Walzer bats it ahead for Holenstein. He's stopped by Mozyakin. Boyanov, Mozyakin. Sharp angle off the side of the net. Mozyakin trying to center it, blocked by Weber. Mozyakin does throw it to the front of the net. Steered away by Marty. Mozyakin and Reto Berra off his knees is going to push up and grab this one, and now Sanikoff.
Reto Berra is getting a plyometric workout today, going back and forth with all the passes. And it's a great give and go. This was earlier. Ovechkin the shot, Donov the rebound. Berra makes a couple saves, little give and go. Mozyakin and Koinov. Reto Berra stays with it. Mozyakin almost outweighted him, found a little bit of room from a goal line angle. Reto Berra for goaltenders getting a lot of work. A lot of up and down, side to side.
Sure, the goaltenders that had to play Russia yet, Reto Berra being one of them, were real thrilled when they heard that Kuznetsov and Ovechkin were on their way over. If there already wasn't enough firepower from Russia. But give Switzerland credit, they've had some chances. Another one there from Julian Walker.
Great chance, Bobrovsky with a nice save.
This is the best we've seen Switzerland play. I think Russia has brought the best out in them.
They really have, and I think that sometimes happens when you're a team like Russia. Switzerland's going to make sure they're prepared. They saw what happened to Denmark, 10-1. You don't want to get embarrassed, so there's a great chance for Walker. Spieser does a good job protecting the puck, just lays it in there. Julian Walker almost found some room to the blocker side. Bobrovsky down in the butterfly, able to make the save.
Julian Walker was a Minnesota pick way back in 2006. Spent the last 3 seasons with Lugano as we look at Dmitry Kalinin of the New Jersey Devils. Lubomov will go in and take this face-off. Patrick Geary gets this ahead for Mosier. He couldn't get anywhere. Telegan, who had the game's opening goal. Telegan takes it wide on Geary, puts on the brakes, centers. Lubomov got knocked down. Good play in front of the net by Dubois.
Strong defensive play, and Telegan continues to have his best game.
Bobrovsky for Zaitsev and on for Kalinin. In for Lubomov, back for Kalinin. Has a step on Trexler and tried to get it up front for Marchenko. Quick up for Nino Niederreiter. And Nino Niederreiter taken out of the play by Dmitry Orlov. Here comes Ovechkin. Ovechkin puts on the brakes in front for Vermistrov. And back for Sven Andrighetto. As they go back and forth, Andrighetto toe drag and Bobrovsky the save.
Wow, it's a very entertaining game as it is back and forth. I'm surprised Niederreiter didn't get a penalty.
Ovechkin offside for throwing the helmet.
For 3, absolutely through. Orlov with a great hit. Dubois had a great defensive play. There's a good hit. Watch Niederreiter. He grabs it and throws it. That's an unsportsmanlike penalty. As Nino Niederreiter, a great hit by Dmitry Orlov.
Niederreiter didn't stay on for the mandatory 8 seconds.
Great hit. Just steps in his way, gets good leverage. Niederreiter maybe a little lucky there. He got away with one.
Yeah, and great camera work by the crew here at the Ice Palace. A good look at that one as Niederreiter ran into Orlov, and now Bobrovsky is going to hang on to it.
Well, it's not like Switzerland hasn't had their chances. This is another look at it. Look at that angle. He gets some air. And as he comes down, a little windmill. The helmet, but Dmitry Orlov, hey, he's getting into the action as soon as he can. Those guys probably just arrived.
Well, when they arrived yesterday, one of the first things they did, Ovechkin, Kuznetsov, and Orlov, is they went to the National War Memorial, laid some flowers down, paid their respects. The rest of the team had done that on Monday, on Victory Day. Those three players just arriving took some time out yesterday to get that very important thing done. Boyanov. Ahead for Pavel Datsyuk. That failed to materialize, and Andrighetto will send it back in. No Rafael Diaz for Switzerland. No Trudinov and Plotnikov for Russia. All a little dinged up. Datsyuk plays it through, and Volzyakin sends it around. Sanikov, Zaitsev, Marchenko. And Russia changing. Marchenko will play it down all the way around for Dodonov. He'll drop it for Panarin. Panarin watched by Blum. Panarin trying to shake him. Can't. Blum stays with him. Panarin. Finally gets it for Dodonov. And he's got Yannick Weber. Very much a man-to-man defense for Switzerland against this line. Dodonov finds Zaitsev. He'll find Panarin. Panarin fires through some traffic wide, short side.
It's the coverage, keeping it to the outside. They'll give those shots away and be fine.
Hohenstein stopped by Dmitry Orlov. Switzerland has to be very careful on that line changes. Julian Walker came off that end of the bench into the action very quickly. Sharp angle, Bobrovsky blocked that one away. Julian Walker going in after it, ran into Orlov. Orlov dumps him, and Anton Belov floats this outside the line, grabbed off by Orlov. And a penalty coming up on the play to Switzerland. It's going to be Schneeberger, or is it Wieser? Wieser behind the play.
You know, Wieser is going to get the penalty for hooking. Orlov coming up in the play, a little hook by Wieser reaching in. No need for that, as it's a simple 2-on-2 play. Needed to leave him for Schneeberger. So, a power play for Russia. They haven't had any success with the man advantage. Came into this game having the best power play in the tournament. A chance to finish this period on a good note as Orlov getting instruction from the coach.
We saw Patrick Fisher again down right at the edge of the dasher board. We've seen him do that from time to time. Datsyuk gets it back for Alex Ovechkin. Ovechkin for Datsyuk. And back for Ovechkin. Fifth power play of the game for Russia. Kuznetsov sends it to Datsyuk. Datsyuk sends it for Belov, and back for Datsyuk, and back for Belov. Through traffic, save made, Radovera. Datsyuk hit there by Mosier on Datsyuk, but Datsyuk gets it back to the line, and Ovechkin ripped it wide, short side. Niederreiter hit by Belov, but he'll get the job done.
Well, Traxler doing a real good job with his stick position, not allow Belov to set up that one-timer for Ovechkin.
Kuznetsov tried to bust his way through, could not. Kuznetsov with the goal for Russia in this period, and it was a beauty. Dodonov leaves it. Nice moves there. Getting across the line was Boyanov. That's as far as Russia will get. And Dodonov has to go back and regroup. Dodonov circles. Period will end about 2 seconds before the penalty will end. Slap shot by Mosyakin doesn't get through. And Panarin trying to center that, gobbled up by Schneeberger. They head for Ambule, pulls up, lets the shot go, stopped by Bobrovsky. Mosyakin bounced off the check from Julian Walker. Sapachev to Donov, and he shot it wide. Sapachev, Mosyakin, Voyanov, Mosyakin, into the slot, save made on the shot from the Donov. Bounces around and Redobera bats it away. And the period will come to an end.
Some late traffic and chances for Russia on the power play, but Switzerland does another great job on the penalty kill. Redobera with saves, and it is just a 2-goal lead for Russia.
Веселая, динамичная галерка, верхний ярус, сдержанный, солидный, надежда опора, нижний ярус, отдельно, ложный сектор вниз, арена легион, при счете 0-2. Мы начинаем третий период пятого матча группового турнира Чемпионата Мира по хоккею 2016 между сборными командами Швейцарии и сборной командой России.
Redobera has been busy and has been good. As Swiss down by a couple against Russia.
They'll try and find the magic to come back in this game. Russia shooting Switzerland 27-21, a lot closer in that period, 11-9 in favor of Russia. Switzerland needs to stay out of the penalty box, just 2 seconds remaining in that penalty to Dino Wieser. And then they'll be back to 5-on-5.
And the result of this game will dictate a little bit whether Switzerland battles with the teams above them in the standings or battles with the teams below them in the standings. As they hang on to the 4th spot right now, that will qualify for playoff action. Top 4 on each side, power play over. Ovechkin sends it in. Telegan from Lubimov in the first period, Kuznetsov from Ovechkin in the second period. That's where we stand right now. Wieser gets it for Julian Walker on a turnover. And now Ovechkin plays this for Burmistrov off his stick. And Gearing will turn back up ice. Chase back. Burmistrov down to the bench on the line change. Pass through the middle, stepping up with Zaitsev. Bobrovsky steers it away. And deflected out at center by Sannikov. Out with Mosyakin and Datsuk. Datsuk couldn't knock that puck loose. Mosier long shot. Steered wide by Bobrovsky. Mosier stays on it. Back for Gearing. In for Niederreiter. Niederreiter the shot. Bobrovsky the save. He's run off his mask.
Boy, Niederreiter's got a quick release. 420 with Minnesota. He's got 3 in this tournament.
Pavel Datsuk. In on Gearing. Datsuk, the backhander, doesn't get it through. And Dubois will lift this back out to the Russian blue line. Russia will have tomorrow off and then play Monday and Tuesday. Norway and Sweden, and that game against Sweden shaping up to be a big one.
More than likely that'll be the one to see who comes in second, as the Czech Republic has beat both Russia and Sweden and look to be able to wrap up the A pool.
In a different sort of way, our next game here, Latvia and Kazakhstan, also has implications to it. Relegation implications. Latvia 3 points, Kazakhstan 2. Slap shot from the line by Emelin. Canada back in action tonight as well against Slovakia.
Well, Yevgeny Kuznetsov in his first game, he took a shot from Anton Belov, went down, slow to the bench, wondering if he'd be able to continue to play. Well, then he does this. Comes up the ice, nice little rush. And as he makes the inside move, the first shot goes up and he knocks it out of the air and in, and that gave Russia the 2-0 lead as he has a goal in his first game.
Russia now with 22 goals scored in this tournament. That is tops in Group A. As they have now matched the Czech Republic in games played at 5. After this game, everyone in Group A will have played 5 games. Beezer trying to get it to his brother and sent back to Telegan. But getting there first is Schneeberger, and icing is going to be the call.
Ivan Telegan opened up the scoring. He has had his best game of the tournament, and talked about sometimes internal competition's a good thing. Telegan, originally Atlanta draft pick, with the Winnipeg Jets organization for a bit, played in their American Hockey League system in St. John 1 year. Also spent 3 years in the OHL with Saginaw and Barrie.
Niederreiter, another shot, that got blocked. Russia, a silver medal last year after a gold medal the year before. Lost to Canada 6-1 in last year's final game. Here comes Kuznetsov. Takes it wide on Gearing, and Antipin had to get by him at the line, and Vermistrov has to hustle back against the checking of Traxler. Traxler's on it, tries to center it for Mosier, and he got in a little deep. And play whistle down.
Oh, at the hands of Evgeny Kuznetsov. Little behind the back, backhand toe drag, but couldn't get by it. There's the captain for Switzerland, Anders Andol. Of course, Pavel Datsyuk, the 37-year-old. Everybody waiting to see him playing this turn and what he will decide next season.
Taken by Pavel Datsyuk. He got spilled, and there's going to be a penalty. The Swiss will go back to the penalty box. Polsyakin carries in Bobrovsky to the bench for the extra man. To the front of the net by Datsyuk and steered away. And now the penalty is being called. It will be a tripping penalty.
Great pass by Datsyuk to Sonikov heading to the net as Hohenstein for Switzerland will take a tripping call in the offensive zone. Switzerland's been able to dodge the majority of these as Datsyuk trying to get by, gets hauled down. Hohenstein gets hauled down by his own guy after that as Andol trying to jump past him. Russia looking to get this power play going that was working well coming into tonight's game.
That has been the one positive for Switzerland is their penalty killing, which was not very good coming into this game. 50% has been outstanding, and they have given it a test. Power play number 6.
Been very aggressive.
Kuznetsov. And a big hit and another penalty coming.
This could be a 5-minute as if Datsyuk goes down. This is a hit from behind. Definitely a boarding call. Very dangerous hit on Pavel Datsyuk. Not sure. I think it's Grossman. He's going to extend the hands with the cross check from behind. I'll be surprised if it's just 2 minutes.
Saw Pavel Datsyuk there a couple seconds ago. Look at Grossman as if to say, like, what are you doing?
Well, he extends his hand. Absolutely, what are you doing? Very dangerous. So 5-on-3 for Russia.
Datsyuk to the bench appears to be all right.
Well, that's the main thing. That's such a hard thing to recover from, and it's just going to be a 2 and a 10.
And Pavel Datsuk's not going to stay down just to stay down.
And that is the difference. If he would have, might have been a longer, but he's okay, which is the most important thing. And Russia gets a 133 5-on-3.
Controlled off the draw, Ovechkin. Down for Panarin. Back for Ovechkin. Kuznetsov. It is 5 forwards for Russia. Sapachev, and he doesn't get a lot on it. And it flutters into Reto Berra.
Sapachev tries the shot. The only thing with this is Datsuk getting some attention. He's the one who initially got tripped up on the play. And he's the one that gets the hit from behind. And no wonder his neck's sore. That is, I can't believe that's just 2.
Yeah. Dodonov plays it back. Kuznetsov, Sapachev. Back for Kuznetsov. Artemi Panarin has to get there ahead of Reto Shapi. Panarin trying to settle it down, gets it for Ovechkin, doesn't shoot it, gets it back from Sapachev. For Kuznetsov for Ovechkin, and that is off the stick of Reto Shapi. A race for it, and good hustle there by Traxler.
One danger when you have 5 forwards, there's 5 guys that want to shoot the puck for Russia.
Ovechkin. And holding up at the line was Kuznetsov. Ovechkin takes it wide. Panarin has to avoid that broken stick. For Kuznetsov to Panarin. And Reto Berra, another good save. What a pass by Kuznetsov. For Ovechkin, Reto Berra makes the save. Can't clear. Panarin in front of the net. Sapachev gets it back to Kuznetsov. Down for Sapachev. Cross ice. Panarin, who was in his skates. Back to Sapachev, who was in his skates. Panarin scores. The net is off, though. And that will not count.
No goal. I think they may have overpassed once or twice on this power play. Instead everybody wants to shoot, maybe everyone wants to pass. Mentioned earlier, it's been a workout for Reto Berra as he's going side to side. Oh boy. I think this is a penalty. Reto Berra just pushes it off with his hand. He brings it back on and then he just pushes it off. Yep. 2 minutes. So the 5-on-3 will continue for 17 seconds. That's what's left in the Grossman call.
Zip Reto Berra looking at the referee saying,
He needed a break.
what do you want me to do?
He went side to side about 20 times on that power play. Panarin and Sapachev, and they're passing. Someone's got to shoot it at some point. Ovechkin was a blast, but it's a delay of game call to Reto Berra.
The passes weren't perfect. They were in the skates until finally the one that was on the stick of Panarin, and he buried it, but by that time the net had been off. And 2 minutes to Reto Berra, so 8 power plays for Russia. That's the bad news for Switzerland. The good news is they have not allowed a power play goal. And their penalty killing numbers will jump immensely. Wrist shot by Ovechkin, and Reto Berra will snare that.
You know Ovechkin's going to shoot the puck. Gets a lane to the net, and he has a good lane, a good look, trying to look that high glove. Reto Berra able to see that all the way. He snares it with the glove.
22 times now, Switzerland has been shorthanded in the tournament. They came in with 14. But their penalty killing that was 7 of 14 is going to take a jump. Ovechkin lays it down. Voyanov for Sapachov. Back to Voyanov and the slap shot wide. Back for Ovechkin. Now 5-on-4. Panarin. Back for Sapachov. Kuznetsov is the other forward. Dodonov not out there with his line mates. And Voyanov and Ovechkin at the points. Slava Voyanov for Sapachov. Back for Voyanov. Sapachov for Panarin. Tipped away by Gearing. Good sticks by Switzerland.
Two things. They've been aggressive when they need to. They've taken away Ovechkin and sticks.
Chance in front, scramble.
And Red O'Bara, the other thing, has made the saves when they've needed them, but they cannot open up that cross-seam pass. Ovechkin makes a great play down to the line. As Kuznetsov trying to get that pass, Barra able to get his glove on and not allow him to bring it to the backhand. But some real solid penalty kill by Switzerland, and a lot of it has to do, Dennis Lee said, great defensive sticks.
Not trying to chase you away from this game because it's been real good. But there's 4 minutes and 50-some seconds left over in that other game on TSN 1 and 3. It is Hungary and Belarus, as Hungary is trying to nail down that win and history would be made. Here it's 2-0 Russia, and they remain on the power play. Wozniakin with Yannick Weber after him. Switzerland can get out of this. That has to be a boost for them.
Russia's just not been able to get their power play going. They've been trying to force too many plays, and when your penalty kill is at 50%, probably something they worked on last practice, Switzerland, and it's definitely paid off.
The fact that it came so easy against Denmark, is that playing a part in this perhaps?
Maybe.
Julian Walker ahead for Beezer. Beezer on that offside. Bobrovsky kicked it away. And here comes Ovechkin. Power play is over. Ovechkin the wrist shot, and Red O'Bara another save. Vera has been brilliant. Shot in front, deflected. Ovechkin taken down. And now Julian Walker maybe got away with one as he got the arms up on Wozniakin.
Looked like a high hit to me. And this is where Switzerland needs to be careful. They've been able to do a great job shorthanded, but they can't continue to go to the penalty box.
The old theory, eventually the referees are going to quit calling it. Lubimov tried the wraparound score. Ivan Telegan has a second.
Great play by Lubimov. This is the fourth line on this team. Now they've gotten 2 of the 3 goals. Ivan Telegan has had the best game of his life, but certainly of this tournament, as he has 2 goals. He has the first one, and now he adds to it, but it's a great play by Lubimov. Goes around the net, gets a step on Weber, and then he finds Telegan off the backside. And just no chance for Red O'Bara, as he has been diving back and forth throughout this game. Can't recover for that one.
So with all the firepower Russia has, their power play goes 0 for 8, and the fourth line gets 2 of the 3 goals. Go figure.
Funny how the things work out in this game.
9 goals in the last 2 years for Telegan, playing in the KHL. So he's not an automatic goal scorer. But it's been that kind of day. Hungary might snap a 77-year losing streak.
They've been good against Belarus. Credit to them.
10:45 left in this one. Russia up by 3.
Ivan Telegan has Russia up 3-0 with a pair of goals in this game. Russia has been all over Switzerland. Switzerland been shorthanded 8 times. The penalty kill's been fantastic.
So just when we talked about Switzerland maybe gaining some momentum from all those penalty kills, Ivan Telegan buries it, and maybe enough to bury Switzerland as far as this game is concerned. Vermeestroff, in a game that they've played very well in, they've just taken too many penalties.
Well, they have. They've been good in certain areas. They've had some chances, but it's been a good night for Telegan. Some good speed on the opening goals. He had a breakaway, stayed with it, got his own rebound. Some great speed as he split the D again, but he couldn't chip it over. Lubinov with some moves behind the net. And that time, Ivan Telegan gets a gift off a great feed. Helped put his team up 3-0.
Been a very good tournament for Lubinov. He came into this game with a couple of goals. Makes a great play there to set up Telegan. Yannick Weber. Back forward for Switzerland. They need to get some offense going here. Offside will be the call as we are at the midway mark of period number 3.
And for Russia, they've gotten better defensively in this tournament. And Bobrovsky's game's been better. This is where they need to really lock down games. They have enough offense to win to where their defense needs to step up. And they've got a good defensive core. Marchenko's been very good. Played in Detroit this past year. Zaitsev, who signed in Toronto, another good defenseman. Yemlin's reliable. And Boynoff, the former LA King.
Puck bounces back. Battle in front of the benches. Talked about their defense core. Shots on goal. Coming into this game tonight, they had 57 shots from their defense core. Russia did. In across the line for Hoffman. He'll get it for Andrighetto. Loose puck taken now by Hoffman. And Bobrovsky save on the short side. Hoffman has it again. That's what's maybe shouldn't be lost in this game is Sergei Bobrovsky has been very good.
He has, and Marchenko with another good play for Russia. He had a strong, he's played really well defensively for them, especially when they have been on the penalty kill, blocking shots.
Over and above how many years it's been since Hungary has won at the World Championships, if they win this game in regulation, they are tied with Belarus in the standings, and if that's the way it finishes, they would get it because of this victory. Belarus would be relegated, and Hungary would be back in the World Championship next year when it's being held in France and in Germany.
It is. It's quite the feat if Hungary can pull it off. And I know our producer was over there for a while, and the fans and the support they have is just tremendous. I don't know if they expected to see a win in this tournament. They do. Unbelievable for that country.
Now this is game 6, and Belarus has France in its last game, so that might be a bit of a savior for Belarus. At the line, Belov. As it gets a little physical, here comes Traxler. Again, there's a shot, Bobrovsky to save, scramble, penalty coming up on the play, and it is going to be a power play for Switzerland.
Well, good chance for Switzerland to get on the board, but they can't find a way. Sergei Bobrovsky has been good, and he touched on it. He's been overshadowed a bit because Reto Berra, but it's going to be Victor Antipin who's going to head to the penalty box for Russia as there's a rush up the ice. Quick shot, good save by Bobrovsky, and then as Traxler comes in for the rebound from Switzerland, Antipin gets that stick right into the midsection. Ooh, Bella caught gearing high after. That one went unnoticed, so just a 5-on-4 for Switzerland.
Again, the Hungary-Belarus game is on TSN 1 and 3. Shirokov will hammer this all the way down the ice. It's nail-biting time over in St. Pete's for the Hungary fans. Blum, probably for the entire country. That's stolen at the line. Here comes Shirokov short-handed, and he will eventually just send it in. And if you're going to flip over for the Hungary-Belarus game, for the final of it, here comes Blum, cross ice, and Mosier with the chance. Stay for the national anthem. It will be something to see. Power play continues for the Swiss. And Rigetto off the side of the net. And another penalty. No, to the bench goes Redobera for the extra attacker. So it is 6-on-4 for Switzerland. Shot wide, and Hungary has put one into the empty net. And Hungary will pick up its first win at the World Championship since February of 1939, when Hungary beat Belgium 8-1. Now, they haven't been in every World Championship since then. Tremendous achievement
for Hungary. Former teammate of mine playing for them, Frank Banham, so very happy for them and all the fans, the thousands of fans that came to support them in this tournament. And that's what it's all about. It will be a celebration that will go on, I imagine, through the night. And here, Switzerland has got Redobera back in the net. Head coach Patrick Fisher trying to get the advantage and trying to get his team on the board.
Sven Andrighetto, they win the face-off, and back to the bench goes Redobera. 38 seconds left in the power play. Sven Andrighetto plays it to the goal line. Nino Niederreiter back at the line, slap shot blocked, and we have a crease violation as Belov blocks that and comes out and gets a thank you very much from Bobrovsky.
Switzerland is trying to get it to the net. Redobera go back. He's going to go to the bench, back to the net, to the bench, back to the net as this face-off will come outside. The shot by Dubois, and it catches the inside of Belov. Down he goes, but he gets a little tap as Bobrovsky acknowledges his D-man taking one for the team.
Vermistrov and Shirokov out to kill off the rest of the penalty. Marchenko and Zaitsev, the blue line pair. Because of all the power plays, there's been some there. Dubois the shot, Bobrovsky another save. Because of all the power plays, there's some Russian players that haven't seen a lot of ice time.
That's very true, and another good save by Bobrovsky, able to hang on, no rebound. Dubois upset with himself, gets all of that one. He does have a good shot from the point, but he puts it right into the crest of Sergei Bobrovsky.
Takes off to the right of Bobrovsky. Dubois the save, Redobera back in goal. As the power play is about to come to an end. Slap shot by Andrighetto and another save by Sergei Bobrovsky.
It's not only the save, there's no rebound. Doing a great job of eating all those pucks. Bobrovsky, not as flashy, but he's certainly been very good in this game. The shot, Andrighetto taking the space he's got. Bobrovsky, good positioning, able to make the save.
They have been very good defensively, Russia. When you go back to the start of the second period against Kazakhstan in game 2. They had given up 2 goals against. Power play is over. Schneeberger for Eric Blum. Blum will play it out at center. Julian Walker carries it in. Julian Walker around Yemelin. They pile into the corner. Cross ice feed, and Schneeberger shot, and Lubimov got his stick in front of that. 5:51 left in this one, 3-0 Russia.
Switzerland not able to get on the board with a power play. Redo Barrow went to the bench a couple times and just no success here as Russia's done a good job and Bobrovsky has been solid.
Our later game tonight has Latvia against Kazakhstan over in St. Petersburg. It is Canada taking on Slovakia. As the round-robin portion of this 2016 World Championship nears an end. Triple header again on Tuesday, and some big games. Pavel Datsyuk took Shapi down, no call. Biggest of those games on Tuesday might be Russia and Sweden. In this building, Canada and Finland over in St. Petersburg. Anbuhl centers, Bobrovsky to save off Shapi. Holenstein. Watched there by Dmitry Orlov. Anbuhl plays it down low. Not a power play right now, but certainly very good puck control by the Swiss.
They have turned it up. There's urgency to their game, and they have played a good game, but Russia's just been able to take advantage of a couple of opportunities.
Wide for Kuznetsov, and Redo Barrow makes the save on a redirect in tight.
Good play by Kuznetsov, just getting that puck to the middle, driving the middle of Shirokov. Redo Barrow, who's had a good game with the save. This is a play, nice play by Anbuhl, brings it out the same side to Shapi. And Bobrovsky just gets enough of that. There was some room over that right shoulder.
Tied up in the face-off circle. Shirokov back for Zaitsev. Chance in front for Shirokov, scores. The net is off on the backside. Redo Barrow trying to point that out.
That has become an issue. The net continues to come off both sides, and it very easily. But Sergei Shirokov, much like Ivan Tlegin, someone who hasn't seen much ice time, looks like he finds the back of the net. A good play off the wall, the puck in front, and Shirokov on the second chance. It's Ovechkin who gets pushed into the net by Dubois. Shot is blocked. Does that go in before the net comes off? Dubois pushes Ovechkin in. The net is off,
but it's still connected. The peg, the post, and the ice are all still connected. Whether or not that would play a part in their decision.
It's a good goal.
So 4-0 Russia. And the goals have, other than the Kuznetsov one, the goals have come from unlikely sources. In across for Andrighetto on an odd man rush. push, and a swing and a miss for Walzer. Centered back door. Chasing it far side is Hoffman. And they're going to say he came outside the line. Offside is called against Switzerland.
Oh, Alexander Ovechkin, we showed Kuznetsov his first game. Ovechkin, this was his first shift of the game, a big hit. He's had the shots, continues to shoot the puck. Not able to find the back end. Nice play to Kuznetsov down on the line. 6 shots on goal. He picked up an assist on that Kuznetsov goal earlier. A good opening game for him. And look to get a little more settled. Probably is a little jet lag and maybe get adjusted to the time change.
Switzerland does have the tough schedule. Back at it again tomorrow against Sweden. And then the Czech Republic on Tuesday. And all the teams below Switzerland will be watching those games to see what happens. Those teams being Denmark, Norway, Latvia, and Kazakhstan. And across for Telegan, 2 goals, looking for 3. And Telegan dumped there by Eric Blum. Walker takes it wide. Walker can't shoot it. Watched there by Marchenko. Julian Walker dishes it off for Patrick Gearing. Gearing cutting into the slot. Taken by Gearing, plays it down low. Marchenko after it. Bumped in the corner. Wozniakin is after it. Centered, and Walzer twice on this shift. Walzer's had a chance and hasn't not been able to get a good shot away. Into the crease it comes, and Red O'Bara will hang on to it.
Head shakes as Vieser had a great chance. He ran into Bobrovsky a little bit behind the net. No call on the play as Bobrovsky's looking for a little bit of interference. Both goaltenders haven't been able to get the calls they want.
We welcome those of you who have been watching quite a game over in St. Petersburg, and quite a display by the Hungarian team, the Hungarian fans, as Hungary defeats Belarus in a historically epic game over in St. Petersburg. Here it's 4-0 in favor of Russia. Story of this game might be that Russia has gone 0 for 8 on the power play, including 2 5-on-3s. Ovechkin, Kuznetsov, and Orlov are in the lineup. And an absolutely beautiful goal by Kuznetsov. Ivan Telegan has 2, and Sergei Shirokov has the other for Russia. And Sergei Bobrovsky has been strong in goal. Dmitry Orlov. And it's cleared out in center. 37-31, the shots in favor of Russia. Shane, Switzerland's put in a performance.
They really have. And the line coming out now, we have not seen much of the Panarin line with Shapachov and Dodonov.
They were terrific against Denmark.
Last 2 games, they have carried the offense for Russia, but for one of those games where the power play didn't come through, and it's the 4th line with Telegan a couple goals, Shirokov with a goal.
For Switzerland to get as many shots and chances, and there's a goal. Simon Mosier in front of the net buries the rebound, but maybe a little bit too late for Switzerland in this game.
There was no quit whatsoever from Switzerland. They've played a very good game here. This is a young team. A lot of inexperience, a lot of guys new to this, but they've come, they've worked, they've done a great job shorthanded. And Simon Mosier able to get that rebound as a shot by Yannick Weber at the point. Rebound, and it is put home by Mosier. So they break the shutout bid for Bobrovsky as it is 4-1.
116 away from his second shutout of this championship. But for Switzerland to get as many chances and shots as they've had, considering that they've been shorthanded 8 times in this game, maybe best explains how well they have played. It's just the penalties that have really hurt them. Not on the scoreboard. Shot by Andrighetto. Oh, big hit as Andrighetto takes Zaitsev to the backboard with maybe a bit of a high hit. They may be going against each other next year as Zaitsev has signed with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Pavel Datsyuk, who was shaken up earlier in this period after taking a high hit. To the line no further as Vizir gets stopped. The older of the Vizir brothers, that was Mark. Datsyuk feeds it, Wojciechowski scores. 5-1 Russia.
The two old guys get together, 37-year-old Datsyuk, 35-year-old Mosiak, and the veterans of this Russian team as they combine. Mosiak can pick up his 4th goal of the tournament. He led Russia with 6 last year. Great quick up pass, nice play by Sonikov on the wall, and Datsyuk, great feed, and what a shot by Mosiak, and he puts that right up top. Great finish, bar down. Just had a little extra insurance here with 17 seconds left.
He can score. And he is loved by the Russian fans. By Alex Ovechkin, when he was announced in the lineup, he got a big cheer. But night in, night out, the biggest cheer still goes for Mosiak. Icing is the call, face-off comes back. Ovechkin, Pavel Datsyuk. Huge response from the fans. Did you hear it there as they announce the goal by Mosiak?
Mosiak, direction of the KHL. Originally was a Columbus draft pick back in 02, played for Magnitogorsk. Led the league with 32 goals and 67 points.
So Russia will pick up another win. Bobrovsky makes the save.
Playing to the final buzzer, a great chance for Weber.
Russia will go to 4-1, 12 points. And they will jump Sweden in the standings with this win. And right in behind the Czech Republic is, if you go back to that game opening day, the Czech Republic defeated Russia 3-0. That very well might be the difference as to who finishes number 1 in this group. Hohenstein on it, grabbed off and cleared. And this one comes to an end as Russia wins it 5-1.
Able to get the job done. They get offense, some depth scoring today for Russia, and solid goaltending by Bobrovsky.
Ivan Telegan got the 2 goals, but it was a solid performance other than their power play. 5-1 your final.
Дамы и господа, официальный спонсор чемпионата мира по хоккею 2016 года компания учредила специальный призыв «Лучший игрок каждой команды». Ladies and gentlemen, the official sponsor of the 2016 IHF Super Bowl Championship, Raiffeisen Bank International, sends special prizes for the most valuable players in each team. Призы вручает генеральный директор компании «Брали» по России и странам СНГ господин Амоне Дисавоя Алста. The process is presented by the General Director of Pirelli, Regional Russia and countries CIS, Mr. Amone Dисавоя Алста. Итак, лучшими игроками сегодняшнего матча признаны. В команде Швейцарии вратарь команды номер 20 Рето Берра. The most valuable player in Switzerland, the goaltender number 20 Reto Berra. И лучшим игроком в составе сборной команды России признан Иван Телегин, номер 7. And the most valuable player tonight, leading rusher number 7, Иван Телегин. Дамы и господа, в честь команды победительницы звучит государственный гимн Российской Федерации. Ladies and gentlemen, in honor to the team winner, please rise up for the national anthem of Russian Federation.